Today I fucked up by thinking my house was on fire at 3 AM. It wasn't. So earlier today I ate a turmeric rice and gyro bowl for a late lunch. It was delicious and I ate a second bowl cause I'm a pig. Flash forward to 3 AM. My wife is thrashing around in bed at 3 AM trying to get comfortable and it wakes me up. I'm immediately hit by the smell of burning rubber and in my half-awake state I panic that something's on fire. When I was a kid the dryer caught on fire and the garage smelled like burning rubber for a week. I'm running through the house trying to find the source of the smell and figure out how to round up the animals and get us to safety when I notice that I don't smell it anymore. I go back to the bedroom and get hit with the smell again. My wife asks me what I'm doing and I said something smells weird and I'm trying to figure out what it is. She tells me she thought I had shit myself because I've been farting really loud all night. She's got allergies and a stopped up nose and didn't realize that it smelled so bad. We start laughing uncontrollably when I tell her I thought the house was on fire. Shortly after I farted again and confirmed that it was not the house on fire. It was just me. I'm so jealous of her congestion. Too long didn't read. I ate a bunch of Mediterranean food and my farts smelled so bad in the middle of the night that I panicked and thought the house was on fire. Update. My wife woke up when I jumped up out of bed. When I went back in the bedroom I was about to throw her some clothes and tell her to get outside and call 911. I should add that my wife is a fucking saint that she even shares a bed with me. I'm told when I'm asleep I'm a one-man orchestra of farts, snoring and moaning. Yesterday was also our anniversary. If it's not true love I don't know what love is. Edited for updates and clarification. Originally wrote this half awake. Sounds like your rubber ring was on fire. I thought it was gonna end way worse. Like you call the fire department and they show up and there's nothing there. And then the firefighters figure out that the fire is actually this man's shitty farts. Would have been one hell of a story. A burnt ring piece is no joke. There is art in every fart. This reminds me of something similar that happened to me. My mom used to trade at music festivals, and since she was a single parent she would take me to them as well during the holidays. We had separate tents, one for her and my stepdad and one for me. One night I had a really bad dream so I went in her tent and went to sleep between my mum and stepdad. After drifting off I farted in my sleep and my mum in her half asleep state thought one of the portaloos by our tent had fallen over so she got up, went outside to have a look at the portaloos and then came back and found that I had hotboxed the tent with my fart smell. She abruptly woke me up and put me in my own tent while she was literally gagging. Smiley face. Thank you op for reminding me about this story, smiley face. I guess my story goes here. One night I woke up and instantly started gagging. I am the most unpleasant person from the hours of 1 to 4. But in my delirious half-sleep state I wake my wife for some reason and get incredibly upset at her. I don't even know why I was mad at her but it was rancid. I thought a small hamster died in her ass or something. So I wake up the next day, take 2 steps and that same rancid smell evacuates from my bowels so I'm left feeling like the biggest stinkiest asshole in the room. Today I fucked up by picking up seaweed. It was not seaweed. So, this happened today. Surprisingly, I was at the beach, having a good time, when suddenly I felt seaweed on my feet. Well, my brother didn't know what seaweed felt like, so I decided to pick it up. Not a good idea. I saw this white, thin tendrils. Immediately dropped it and thought, oh shit, that's not seaweed. Well, I immediately felt a burning sensation. The seaweed was a jellyfish. The jellyfish had wrapped its tentacles around my legs and stung me. I ran back to shore, stabbing pain going through my legs. My mom immediately looked up jellyfish stings and, yes, I had been stung. I'm currently in bed, talking to my grandparents, and writing this. I just put vinegar on it and it hurts like I have been stung all over again. TL doctor, picked up seaweed, turned out it was a jellyfish. Edit, the jellyfish that stung me was a Chesapeake Bay sea nettle. You might want to go get that checked out. It could get infected. I don't recommend vinegar either. Try some antibiotic and numbing cream instead. I hope you get better soon. Smile. Luckily my mom is a former EMT, so she is very experienced in the medical field. Thanks though, and unfortunately I already put on the vinegar. If it gets worse I'll get it checked out. We used to take unseasoned meat tenderizer to the beach. The papain breaks down the venom, which is a protein, of Portuguese man-o-war stings. Another thing we had in the car was talcum powder. It's great for removing sand when there's no shower, which there wasn't when we were kids. My parents didn't want a car full of sand, so we had to use lots of talc. Looking back, it's amazing that we didn't all develop mesothelioma. Edit. Papain may be effective, but it's not as readily available to most North Americans as it was during the 1970s. That's partly because we don't mind a tough steak as we used to. I also think the leading brand's name in meat tenderizer didn't help much in a more enlightened era. It was Adolph's. I absolutely misread this as meaning one of those meat tenderizer hammers. Just imagine someone trying to get a jellyfish off with one of those. That reminds me of when I saw a stick in the water at the beach. Then the stick swam away. Last summer I was swimming at the beach with my wife and her sisters. We're all in our 30s, when I felt a rock with foot, and so I decided to pick it up. We all screamed in terror as I lifted a rather large horseshoe crab out of the water. And now I will have nightmares for days. I live in the area. I've never been stung, but I can confirm that they can get massive and freak me out. Today I fucked up by becoming a sex vampire. Throw away because yay, lots of people know my main. So I have a few kinks. Nothing too out there. I have a blowjob fetish. I like it rough. I love when my husband grabs my head out of the blue and just shoves me down there. Like I said, not too out there, and if it keeps our sex life satisfying and happy after 12 years of marriage, I consider it a win. Husband has a few things of his own. He's kind of a light soft type and tends to be hornier when waking up in the middle of the night. All good by me. That brings us to the event, aka why I just got home from the emergency room, which was packed with fireworks mishaps even though they are illegal in my state. Yesterday was, of course, America's birthday. We live not far from a big city with a major fireworks display that was amazingly still happening despite the pandemic. Rather than risk infection, we got some beer and tacos and headed up to the roof to watch. Great time had by all, got drunk, stayed up there talking and laughing until the wee hours of the morning when we decided to pack it in. Back inside and husband is feeling amorous. Guess he wanted to pack it in, ha ha. Anyway, it's dark and we're both beyond tipsy, but that's okay. I am way into it by the time he grabs my hair and directs me eagerly towards Captain Happy, already standing at attention. Here's part 1 of my fuck up. I want to stress that this is not unusual for us at all. A bi-weekly occurrence, at least. Over the 14 years we've been together, it adds up. Perfect track record of 0 injuries. No reason to be extra cautious or anything. So he shoves my head down and I guess I hit a weird angle or something because there's a visible flare in front of my face, yay fireworks, and a sharp pain in my mouth. Right under my tongue. You probably think you know where this is going, and maybe you do, but stay tuned. So sharp pain, yeah? But I'm kinda drunk and really into it, so I decide it's nothing. No big deal. Tasted a little blood, but it wasn't gushing or anything. I knew if I mentioned it to dear husband that he'd stop immediately. I love that man to death, in part because he's so sensitive and caring, but I do know from the great vampire prawn hits her head on the headboard really hard incident of 2016, among a few others, normal, minor stuff, that hurting me at all, even accidentally, would instantly kill the mood for him, and, frankly, I want to get my rocks off at this point. So I say nothing and keep on chowing down. Our typical formula is blowjob, piv, blowjob. Perfect for both of us. So we transition to piv and he is just on top of his game, seriously. 2 orgasms later and my mouth is still painful, but I'm in happy town, so whatever. We finish as per usual and I do notice a lot more fluid than normal. I think very little about this as I lie back in post-coital afterglow. Husband gets up and makes his way to the bathroom to clean up. I see the light flick on beneath the door and then in his deathly calm, serious voice, vampire prawn, are you alright? I turn the lamp on my nightstand on and find myself covered in blood. I mean, full on something out of From Dusk Till Dawn covered. Let it be known that I had a full hysterectomy 6 years ago, So we both instantly know it's not a mistimed period or something. Husband bolts back into the room with the first aid kit just as I shove a wad of Kleenex into my mouth. I explain what happened as I soak through fistful after fistful of tissues. Without room for argument, he helps me get dressed and we drive to the ER. So now I have 3 stitches and a new embarrassing holiday story. Too long didn't read, tore the webbing under my tongue giving head. Didn't stop. Wound up in the ER with the kids who blew their hands off with fireworks. I feel very sorry for your inbox but glad it wasn't too bad of an injury. She didn't hurt her inbox, just her mouth. Blood? I think you mean free lube. Open wound? I think you mean extra pocket. I got to ask what's PIV. I'm running all sorts of lines and it ain't working. Puts it in vagina? My best guess. Edit, thanks for the replies, consider me educated. Puts it in vagina. The words are wrong but the action is correct. Opened this thinking it was a JoJo reference, read the story and I am not disappointed. Hope you're feeling better now.